recently launched the first beta of my new app, Algo Pattern, and that meant something really exciting started happening. People were actually using it. And because people were actually using it, they also started sending me bug reports, feature requests, screenshots, random thoughts, and a lot of genuinely really helpful feedback. Which, first of all, is awesome. I am so grateful that people are taking the time to tell me what's broken, confusing, or just missing, and how I can make it better. The challenge, though, is that Algo Pattern isn't currently my full-time job. Between classes, work, other responsibilities, and actually building the app, my time is pretty limited. And I found myself spending more and more time trying to organize the feedback instead of working on the product itself. So I decided to try something I have not yet done before. I made an AI agent to read my feedback emails, decide what was a bug or feature request, create GitHub issues from those to keep them all in one place, and even group duplicate reports together. I actually have built a lot of automations before, everything from simple Python cron jobs to end-to-end workflows. For things like live pulling all my school assignments into one place, sending me reports on stock prices, syncing my school Outlook to my Google Calendar. But with this, I wanted to try taking it one step further. Instead of building a rigid automation where I have to define every single rule up front, I wanted to try using an actual AI agent, and particularly one that could improve over time. Because real user feedback is not always very structured, especially the way it's set up right now in the early stages. Some people just email me directly, some people use the in-app feedback button, which also opens a pre-filled email, and some people straight up send me Instagram DMs. Or if you're my brother, you just call me and complain. Hi, Tim. But one person might say, the app froze after I finished the quiz. Another person might say, I got stuck after question 3. Another person might send me a screenshot and say, this button doesn't do anything. And all of those might be the same bug. So I wanted something that could understand the context and also learn from any corrections I could make and get better at handling my specific project. Which is why I decided to try Hermes for this use case. If you haven't already heard of it, Hermes is an open source, self-improving AI agent that you can host yourself and connect to any AI model. It has persistent memory, and the selling feature is that it can create and refine its own skills, which is what enables it to adjust and improve to your specific needs over time. So the idea is that instead of me constantly re-explaining how I want my bug reports handled, Hermes can gradually build up a memory and a set of skills around my workflow. Another important consideration for this kind of thing is the hosting infrastructure. It wouldn't work super well to have this running locally on my laptop, even though it technically can, because my laptop sleeps, restarts, travels with me, and it's generally not something you want to have automations running on. Also, Hermes can interact with sensitive information and credentials. One of the main ways it works is by interacting with files, so it would be better to keep the agent isolated from your personal files and local applications and anything else stored on your main computer. So for this, I deployed Hermes on a Hostinger VPS. A VPS environment provides a much safer setup and helps maintain that clear separation between the agent and your personal environment. And also, Hostinger has a pre-built Docker template that lets you deploy Hermes with one click. So before I go on, I'm going to quickly show you how you would set it up in case you would want to try it out yourself. From the Hostinger Hermes agent page, you can choose the Hermes Agent VPS plan, which will give you access to compute resources to run everything on. Then from hPanel, you can go into Docker Manager, search for Hermes Agent in the catalog, and deploy it from there. Once it's deployed, you can open the web terminal and run Hermes setup to configure your AI model providers, connect any tools you want, as well as any additional channels you want to communicate through. If you want to try this setup yourself, Hostinger did give me a link and a coupon code. I'll put both in the description, and you can use the code for 10% off the Hermes Agent VPS plan. So moving on to the actual setup for Algo Pattern. I connected it to Algo Pattern's Gmail through Composio, gave it permissions to read emails and label them. I also created a GitHub app for Hermes, which is basically like a bot user, and gave it permission to write issues to the Algo Pattern repository. And then after some back and forth with the agent, working through existing emails in the inbox, we ended up creating a skill file specifically for triaging Algo Pattern feedback. So it reads the email and decides whether it's a bug report, a feature request, general feedback, or none of the above and something that should be ignored. If it decides the email should become an issue, it checks the existing GitHub issues to see whether this is a duplicate of something already reported. And if it's new, it creates a new GitHub issue issue and labels it with relevant tags and a priority. And if it's a duplicate, it comments on the existing issue instead, adding the new report as another user signal. Once I was happy with what it was producing, I set a cron job to have it check my email every morning at 7 a.m. and do the triage. Then once it's done, it sends me a Telegram message with a summary of what it did and links to issues it created or updated. And that's another thing that I forgot to mention. I also connected it to Telegram, so not only can I talk to it through the terminal, I can also just talk to it on my phone directly, which actually became useful the morning after I set this up when I received an Instagram DM with feedback. And I don't currently have Instagram hooked directly into this workflow, so I literally just screenshotted the message request and sent it to Hermes in our Telegram chat, and it created the GitHub issue from there. And even with the morning summaries, it's really helpful that it's a two-way channel because I can take a look at what it's done, and if it's made any mistakes, I can instantly just tell it and it can fix those mistakes and save them to the skill. The main mistake it usually makes is creating a new issue for a report that another user has already made, but maybe worded a little bit differently. I have noticed that over time, over a few days using this and correcting it, it has slowly gotten better and better at detecting the duplicates, so the self-improving features do seem to be working. So I did mention that I had to have some back and forth and some tweaking at the very beginning too, when I was first setting it up. So at first, Hermes created issues that were very detailed, but not actually very useful for me. It would take the user's email, restate the issue, infer steps to reproduce, infer expected behavior, infer actual behavior, and basically produce this very verbose GitHub issue, but I just wanted it to be as glanceable as possible. And the user's own wording is usually the most important thing. I don't want the AI to overinterpret the report and accidentally clean up or distort what they were trying to say. So I just got it to tweak the issue template to just include a short title, the source, so email or in-app, etc., the verbatim user report, and any environment details like the app version or what device they were using, and whether it's a bug or feature request or just feedback, and also a priority estimate. An important thing I wanted to ensure in this setup is that the AI is not replacing the human relationship with my users. There are still real people taking time to help me improve the app, and the agent should just help me organize the incoming information so I can see the patterns faster and respond more thoughtfully. Another thing I had to teach Hermes was what was and wasn't an issue to catalog. For example, right now in Android, AlgoPattern is in Google Play closed testing. That means I have to manually add each Android user's email before Google Play will let them access the app. So often I get emails like, Google Play says the app's not available, or I can't find the app. And this is not an app bug, it's just a closed testing logistics issue. Sometimes the person used a different email for Google Play than the one they signed up with. Sometimes they emailed me before I had a chance to add them. Either way, this should not be logged on GitHub. So I specifically told Hermes to ignore those access emails, and once it added that rule to its skill, it handled those correctly. This is a good example of why I wanted a self-improving agent instead of a static automation. The edge cases are very specific to my project and constantly changing, and I need the system to easily adapt to them. The other thing I really do like is that its skills and memory are completely transparent. They're stored as markdown files, and I have mine backing up to a GitHub repository, so I can easily inspect what it knows, change it, version it, and it's not just some mysterious black box like with most commercial AI chatbots. So overall, my thoughts from this experiment. Hermes did not magically fix all my bugs or make it so I never have to read emails again, but it did significantly lower the friction of staying on top of feedback. Instead of opening my inbox and mentally sorting through every single message from scratch, I can open my GitHub and see the issues grouped by theme. I can see when multiple people are reporting the same thing. I can see a predictable summary every morning. And then I can still go back to the original emails and reply to the people as humans, because again, the point is not to turn my users into a data pipeline. The point is to make sure their feedback does not get lost. The biggest caveat I would say for this is it's most useful when you're willing to spend time dialing in the agent. The first version will probably not be perfect. The value comes from correcting it and letting the workflow improve over time. But to me, that's also what makes it interesting and fun. If you want to build something like this yourself, whether it's for bug triage, customer support, project management, research, or literally any other weirdly specific workflow or use case, as I mentioned, Hostinger does have a pre-configured Hermes Agent VPS setup that makes it pretty easy to get started. You can use my link in the description and apply the code for 10% off their Hermes Agent VPS plan. And if you build your own version of this, I want to hear what you built, because after trying for bug reports, I'm now excited to try making more of these for other repetitive parts of my life. And if you're new here, I'm a computer science student sharing my journey, building projects, among other things. So if that sounds interesting, feel free to subscribe and stick around.